Greetings, fellow bridge lovers, and welcome back to Bridge Brawl! Oh my goodness. Our match has just started. We are now in the KO phase. This morning, we have NYC.Bridge and JazPlaysBridge fighting it out to see who's going to be making it into the Championship SemiFinal. Let me show you what that means in a moment. But first, let me introduce our amazing commentators. We have the outstanding Philip Martin coming in. He is the face behind the Gargoyle Chronicles and many, many, many articles that he is very well known for. So thank you for joining us today, Philip.
Thank you.
We've also got Matthew Weingarten, who is Bridge Overlord 201. He is one of the captains playing in the event. He is also going to be facing off to try to get into a spot later on today. And that is going to be a fun match to watch. Welcome in. Thank you so much for commentating.
Yeah, well, thank you for the invite. And yes, we will be actually trying to set us up to play the winner of this match in we're one round behind because we were not as great as Jazz or NYC.Bridge, but we'll see if we can face off against one of them in a later stage.
So let me get us to be able to see what's going on in the KOs right now, what the plans are, who needs to beat who in order to make it. If I can actually figure out how technology works. There we go. So these were the round robins, and we had two different round robins, so that, you know, we didn't have 18 people playing against 18 people. That would have taken forever. It already took forever, but that would have taken really forever. And the match that we have right now is the third place in the round robin 1 versus second place in the round robin 2, NYC.Bridge and JazPlaysBridge. They both had some really outstanding performances. JazPlaysBridge only lost twice, and NYC.Bridge also only lost twice. And we need to go check out the KOs. So right here, this is where this match is, and Bridge Overlord is back here, which is what we were talking about, because they only finished 5th in their bracket, and they're playing the 4th place team to try to get a shot at getting into the quarterfinals, and then even then another shot to get into the semifinals. So this match is the one that is happening right now. And yeah, it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be very close. The players have already started. I think it's very important for us to be able to talk about the format of this thing, because it's a little bit different from your typical bridge tournament. So the way that works, this is an early KO tiebreak. So you must win your match by 7 or more if you want to definitively win it. If you lose it by 6 or more, but by 7 or more, then you are definitively losing. But if you are in that margin of winning by 6 imps or losing by 6 imps, that counts as a tie, and we go to tie breaks. If you are tied, we add another 2 boards, and then if you are still tied after that, then we add another 2 boards. And if that doesn't decide things, well, then we're going to go to a little bit of a different form here of scoring, and that is going to be counting all of the beer cards. If you got
The only true tiebreaker.
The only true tiebreaker is the beer cards. So if your team scored more beer cards than the other side, then you are going to be the winner if you had tied. It doesn't matter how much you tied by. You tied, you failed to beat them by more than 7. Now the beer cards decide your fate. And if somehow that also doesn't break the tie, then we have the BAM. So BAM is going to be a tiebreak, which means that, you know, if your side got 630 while the other side got 620, then the 630 counts as a point. And this is all stuff that is going to be auto-calculated by the website. Also, the beer card stuff, the players have been instructed that they must play out their beer cards. They cannot claim them because we cannot see them on ViewGraph, and also the website does not pick them up. So we will be seeing beer cards getting played out. Hopefully we will be seeing people sacrificing some tricks potentially for beer cards. And it's a very, very interesting part of the strategy, I think, that this
And the
event brings.
and I think we established the defense could concede if they see a beer card coming, right?
Yes, the defense can attempt to concede
Yeah. See if they
it,
can sneak that past Declare.
exactly. Like you can try, but don't, like, of course the declarer has to be on their game, but don't just continue to concede to make the hand impossible to finish. So you will be directed if that does end up happening. So yeah, that's currently what is going on. I can see that the match has started. Everybody is getting all set. The way that we have it all set up is that everybody has been invited to a 14 board match. So we assume that everyone is going to get to the end of this tiebreak, but they're going to stop at board 10 and they're going to stop at board 12. We're going to tell them the score and tell them to keep going if they are tied, tell them to stop if they are not. And that's how those tiebreaks are happening. So I'm currently watching the table. I have spoilers. And yeah, that's where we're at, team.
And it looks like the view graph just started.
All right, so I'm going to stop sharing. Matt is going to...
So we have a table where both captains are playing, but since both of them should be, at least one of them I think is live streaming, then maybe we'll just go to the other table.
Yeah.
So let me share my screen and we'll bring that up.
Both tables here should be very, very interesting to watch. So
yeah, I mean these are good teams. Like Jazz's team is a lot of like regulars on like some big Singapore teams, and the NYC.Bridge, you know, that's a big collection of talent that they have there. All right, so we're starting out with a 4-heart contract featuring a pretty awful trump split, unfortunately. Seems like a reasonable spot, but the Declare's going to have their work cut out for them here.
Can you put on the history, please?
Oh, yeah. Let's put on the history tab.
It looks like at the table we're watching, South made a pretty aggressive.
Yeah, let's see the auction. So, heart 2 clubs. Some people always like to get a little more aggressive with game forces when they have support, and they do have 10s to be fair, but definitely a little dicey. And then they just fast arrivaled and jumped to 4 hearts at that point.
Yeah, the other table they just invited and looks like they got pushed to 4 hearts and got doubled.
Oh, how fun!
Ooh, okay, yeah. Let's take a peek for while this. Okay, so let's take a peek at this auction. So it went a heart and no trump, and they had the invite. So West doubled because with their takeout shape, and now East doubles 4 hearts, which seems very reasonable. So
yes, it does.
Yeah, could be some imps to Jazz's team on this board because I already see 2 losers here. There's for sure at least 1 heart loser. Declare's going to have their work cut out for them. I don't think it's possible, unfortunately. Declare here decides to rough a winner in attempts of giving themselves an extra entry to take the finesse. They don't know, of course, that trumps are splitting this poorly. And yeah, this should just be... At this point, I think you just want to play a diamond here. Even though that breaks, so I guess not. Maybe you don't touch diamonds because they did bid them. You might just exit a club here.
Yeah.
Not give anything away. Okay, he does go with a diamond, which untangles that suit, but Declare still has a loser there. They can only get 1 pitch in on clubs, and looks like they're getting at least 1 more heart trick as well. Okay, so Declare just concedes their diamond loser, and if they get a rough here, it's just a natural trump trick. So I think the outcome will be down 2. All right. Well, we'll head back to the other table where there's some more fireworks here. So let's see. The defense did start with the same exact spade lead and just playing a spade at trick 3 with no perspective of a better option. Now, the main difference between this table and the other one is there is a little intel about a bad split on the horizon with that double. JD lays down a high heart for starters and has a lot of work to untangle things here. The question is, can he get out for down 1? Is there some type of end play where he can just get out for down 1 here, which would actually be a push?
Yeah, I don't see how. In fact, if they don't break diamonds for him, well, he can pitch 1 diamond on the.
Yeah, he can pitch a diamond here, and then he can play the queen of diamonds out of hand. Which, well, he's doing that a trick early here.
He didn't even take the pitch. I guess there's no reason to. You can always rough the diamond and dummy.
Yeah. So he can concede the diamond here. Jazz can just give Gideon a rough at this point, knowing that they gave proper. Well, actually, no, never mind. There's no more diamonds in dummy, so I don't know. I would probably just play a club here at this point, I guess. Not seeing any better options. Okay, so actually that's not true because you can give the 9 of hearts here and they'll still have the queen. So yeah, this would be down 2 and I guess 5 imps to Jazz's team off the bat.
So a good start for Jazz. Just want to welcome in everybody in chat I see so far. We've got Kiag, we've got Beans, of course, Laxi, Scott said good morning and thanks for getting up so early, Kai and Beans. Woo, let's go. A little bit, I mean, it's not so early for you, Philip, so it's not that big of a deal, right?
It's early
Yeah,
for me.
9 a.m.
I'm not a morning person.
Oh, no.
Anything before noon is early for me.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, thank you for getting up early then, Philip. Much appreciated. Good morning, Doc Coburn. Welcome in.
Like we said off the bat, we'll go to the other table. So we got a no trump opening. They're playing good 14 to 17 and decide to upgrade for their 5-card suit. Goes pass, 2 spades, which without an alert, I'm assuming is just natural. I thought it was a good hand here. 3-card support and just good values in places where you know your cards are going to be working. I guess the question is, how much do you think your partner is taking advantage of here when they balance? And that will probably determine how much you bid here.
And 2 no trump should be a Q bid.
Yeah, 2 no trump should be a good raise, I would assume. If you have that in your arsenal, I would definitely bid that here south. No, they actually just go for leaping to game, which...
It seems a bit aggressive to me.
Yeah, that is a little aggressive. I feel like, partner can certainly balance on a variety of hands. I would probably pump the brakes a little here, but this is a good spot, as we can see, especially when it's right-sided and North is playing it. They can't even get a club lead on the table, which is the only threat at setting this.
Yeah, you have 4 tricks, but you can't get at them. Well,
actually,
I guess because
they don't have the timing to get the club pitch, depending on the defense, right?
If a spade to the king and a club back,
yeah,
up your 4 tricks. So what
but,
happens if you lead a heart? If you lead a heart, he can win and lead the jack of diamonds.
Right, and then that sets him up to actually throw a club.
But now you may end up losing a heart rough on that if you get the, so it doesn't look good. No.
But is it marked to take that diamond finesse? East could have ace king of spades instead of just ace empty.
Yeah.
So great spade lead here by Cornelius. And looking at this dummy at this point, I think a club shift is not out of question. And if they find that, they'll actually beat this one.
The other table, they stopped in 2 spades.
Okay, so at the other table, North balanced with 2 diamonds, which is 1 major. 2 spades,
I guess that's a heart raise.
Yeah, that's that's supportive of hearts while also being tolerant of spades. I don't know. I mean, I certainly may have considered a stronger bid to convey. I'm good for. Of course, you're good with either major in this case. So I would have tried to make a stronger bid if I can, depending on our methods. But they do stop. It's also played from the other side, so making 4 would be down the drain anyway. So could be imps in here for NYC.Bridge for staying low and finding a good defense at this table. West does find the club shift, and yeah, Declare can't pull it off at this point. Yeah, Cornelius had a very solid run just a few weeks ago in the Vanderbilt, where their team advanced to the round of 16, which, when you're not on a pro team, is very good. So, still capturing some of that same energy, it looks like, with some of these plays.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Declare decides to rise with the ace. Yeah, there's just no chance at this point, In fact, they're actually running the risk of going down an extra here, but.
Well, he's hoping for, well.
Even if hearts were 3-3, you would still need spades to be 2-2, and that's still not good enough because, the person with the low spade can just rough in.
Right. I don't see what he's playing for there.
Yeah. If you try something, you end up down 2, which, when you're vulnerable is not a great score. So I feel like I would just concede down 1 at this point. All right, well, you got to stop the hearts at this point to avoid an extra under trick. Yeah, I just don't see how this can be right, unfortunately. So 200 is not going to be a great score for them compared to the other table making at least some number of spades. So this will be imps back to NYC.Bridge, and actually with the vulnerability will momentarily give them back the lead.
The lead?
Yeah, because this is going to be 200 here.
Yeah.
And
it'll be
the other
8 up.
10-140, right?
Right, but that's a tie.
Good point.
No. That would be that's 7 imps, right?
It's 8 ups.
Or 8 imps.
Right, but Jazz already has 5.
Yeah, I was saying giving NYC.Bridge the lead for a moment.
Sure.
Head by 3 is a tie.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to reinforce that this is still a tie.
We have a million boards to go. This match isn't over. Yeah, I guess chat does bring up the point that if the no trump opener had 4 hearts and 3 spades, that actually you could make at that point. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
So that is something worth playing for.
Yeah. Yeah, conceding the extra 2 imps is.
Yeah. So.
It's
giving yourself a chance to make isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world, as they point out here. Yes. All right. So shapely hands coming alive on this one. So it goes a diamond by Derp, monster heart fit north south. So North decides to start with the power double.
Yeah, I don't care for power doubles. They're just a bit of heart.
All right. So a spade south should bid these hearts now. They bid 2, which that's going to definitely excite North here. Derp shapes out, bids 3 clubs. Yeah, decides to open his shorter suit here. Just not a really great reverse hand, so he decides to open a diamond and rebid clubs. I think North is bidding 4 hearts. Now the colors could, keep East out of competing here, but they are well fit for both minors. You certainly might take a call here to compete on this hand.
Also to mention, if East-West end up in a non-diamond contract, then there's beer card potential here for this tiebreak.
That's true, but the problem is here, West opened diamonds first, so you're going to take preference to what you think is their longest suit, even though clubs is a longer fit here.
Right.
I
Oversimplifying the
don't know
auction
what
has
4
its
no
losses.
trump would mean for East-West at this point, but if that could be like pick a minor, that would have been an option. Now, the question is, are North-South even done bidding here? You know, especially from the perspective of North, your partner took a free bid into your 6-card suit. South bids on themselves.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of bidding on this hand, it feels like. I guess they don't necessarily count on their partner actually having two tricks in the minors here, which is the big difference maker. So 5 diamonds.
6 diamonds.
Wow. Okay. The 5 level is not for the opponents at this table.
Nope, it's the 6th level now.
Yeah.
There's only been
All
one
right,
pass in this
is
auction,
the
too.
auction even over at this point? Yeah, North decides to try to end things with a double, looking at what looks like to be beating this in their own hand. I think South should just pass at this point. And yeah, this should be off too, right? Diamond, club, spade. That spade can't go anywhere. Let's take a look at the other table's auction to see what kind of fireworks we're seeing here. All right, so other table is in 5 diamonds doubled. So started with the same power double. West bid 2 no trump over 2 hearts, which is like good bad. If makes sense in this case. Now they kind of like shape out with 5 clubs and they get into 5 diamonds. All right. Now, they won't. The good news for Declare is because partner actually has only a stiff heart and doesn't have like a doubleton, you actually really aren't getting tapped here, which is nice. If you were getting tapped, this would be a much bigger problem.
That's why you shouldn't bid your suits out of order. You'd much rather.
Yeah. I mean, if you start with a club here,
set.
you will get into clubs, but it is problematic to bid and open a club first because you may never be able to show the diamonds. But yes, for the people who just prefer opening,
it's competitive. You can often show diamonds via an unusual no trump.
Right, or if you had like that good bad method that the other table is using. All right, Derp tries to sneak one past the defense, but they're not falling for it. At this point, I think I would probably just play a spade or return a diamond if I'm not positive. You know, from North's perspective, they might think they have a chance at 2 club tricks because they think West might only have 5 of them.
Right.
And they might be getting finessed into.
Yeah, they might think that they might actually score both those clubs.
It's what my greedy little brain would be thinking. But then again, there's always a chance that they go away in some odd circumstance.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess North is just trying to evaluate the, different scenarios. I mean, depending on how light your partner takes a free bid here, I guess there could be a doomsday scenario where West has King X of spades and your partner's queen falls for a lot of pitches. But even then, that wouldn't be enough for them to make this at this point.
He has a clue that Declare has only 5 diamonds, because if Declare had 6 diamonds,
yeah, then they probably wouldn't be leading a lump out of their hand.
Yeah. So he's probably worked out Declare's 2056, but I don't see.
Yeah, and if I was South on this point on this hand, what I would have done on the first diamond is I would have played a different diamond to convey that I can tolerate spades. Some type of trump suit preference so that partner knows that we can defend safely here if needed. I don't know if I would have played the 9 because that could be a useful card, but I probably would have played at least the 4.
Yeah. He's wondering if his ace of clubs could actually go away.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking. Like I was saying, there's king X of spades as a possibility with West hand, but if that was the case, well, they would have way more diamonds than they should have here on this auction and how they're playing it. So they actually just decide not to screw around. They play club. I mean, there also, I guess, of course, is the chance that actually South has king third of clubs. If you play their deuce of diamonds as club, as like club suit preference, then yeah, you might want to go for that ruff here like they did.
True.
But it doesn't happen, and even though this club suit is now set up, there's still just not enough pitches. They'll be down 2, so 500 for Jazz's team at this table.
The other table, they chose. Jaslene chose to pitch a spade on the ace of hearts lead.
Oh, okay.
I mean, just if diamonds are.
If diamonds are splitting poorly, that does give you some extra timing.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, loser on loser play. You can't get rid of that anyway.
Never getting rid of that spade ever. So might as well. I mean, it kind of just puts them to that same guess that North was just in, like pretty much immediately.
Yeah, on what to do next, because you obviously can't play heart.
Right, and there are no signals to help you, so it's a very powerful play in the end.
Although playing a heart isn't necessarily the craziest thing in the world, I guess. They can't have enough spades where I'm giving a fatal rough and stuff at that point if I'm not positive in what to do.
Right. If Declare's afraid of roughs, might as well just keep
bring it back to him. All right, so a nice, powerful, balanced hand here. So club heart, 2-0. I'm guessing whatever method you do to show 5 hearts here, whether you play transfers or nope, we can just bid 3-0 trump. All right, well, turns out the best lead for the defense is opener suit. But they might also lead the 10 of spades. Very friendly heart lie here for Declare with King 10 doubleton in the slot. If you're scared about letting South in for leading a club through on a club lead,
well, you're probably
don't even
not
have to worry about that.
You only have 1 entry to dummy, so
you have to burn that entry, and you gotta play for that. But yes, it does.
Oh, he found the club lead.
He did find the club lead, so actually Declare to the test right away.
A good practice here is if you're leading a suit the opponent's had bid, you should always lead your lowest. You can't often leading fourth best will blow a trick. That your fourth best is actually a winner.
Yeah.
Since you have to lead lowest sometimes for technical reasons, you might as well make it an agreement.
Yeah, and even though this is fourth best, that 7 isn't necessarily the easiest card to read here either. All right, so the main question is, what is Declare going to pursue here? Because you can't let South in on this hand, or else the club is coming right through if they continue it. So
apparently there was a really long think on this one. If we want to continue to watch this table, we can also go to the analysis board and go through some stuff if you guys want to.
Sure. Well, I mean, I guess we can look at this for a second before we go there. But
of course.
There's a lot of options here. For starters, you could have contemplated ducking that club.
Right.
Now, as Declare, once you win it, you have to play this hand with not letting South in. I mean, we can see this double dummy. We know what can work, but now Declare has to figure it out themselves. We'll take a peek at the other table to see what's happening, and then maybe we'll try out the analysis feature because it's cool. All right, so the other table is in 5, as we saw, with they have no entries to do anything, so it feels like they're just playing the queen out of clubs out of their hand and getting rewarded when the jack falls. So this should be off 1, and that would be 7 imps back to Jazz's team, which again, we're playing for larger margins here as we'll need with our rules, but puts them back ahead temporarily. All right, let's see some analysis.
This actually, it was the other table that was thinking on this board, not this one. This one played pretty quickly.
Oh,
Yeah. It looks
the
like he's,
3-0 hand here. Okay.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
played for the Heart King on his
Yeah, they
left.
played for Heart King onside or Singleton, and yeah, now they're toast, unfortunately.
Yeah, that looks like the best line of play to me. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, and it's a very small.
although you
thing that
still need
just works here,
the spade
unfortunately.
finesse, right? Even if you find the King of Hearts on your left, you've still only got. Well, no, you don't. That's right. If they continue clubs, that gives you your 9th trick. If they don't continue clubs, then you can take a spade finesse, and you don't care whether it wins or loses. So look, that looks like the right play to me, rather than playing for King Doubleton of Hearts on side.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is a very narrow chance, especially because you need specifically King Doubleton, because if you don't, you still just can't get back to the board to do anything. And you probably want to get to the board later for a potential spade finesse if you need it.
So that club lead really, really painful.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting hand, depending on what the other table gets to. Again, like, there is a possibility of ducking the opening club lead. You know, South returns a club, West plays one, North, of course, will duck, but now Declare is kind of like in the same situation.
So the other table, they look for the 5-3 heart fit, which I have to admit, I would have done that too. I don't.
Yeah, so they pursue the fit. I'm guessing here East is offering a choice of games, and with 4-3-3, I think I would take it instead of wanting to be in 4 hearts.
Well, it's not as though partner had the option of showing a second suit. Partner could be quite unbalanced on this auction. I would agree. After a
oh, and okay, sorry. So 3 diamonds is a transfer here, so it's showing hearts.
Yeah, right. After a strong no trump opening in the transfer, then 3 no trump is a choice of games. But when you don't have an option of showing a second suit, I think partner has to almost always correct back with 3 hearts.
All right, so 10 of spade lead here for Declare, which now that gives them some extra timing here.
And what do you do with that timing is the question.
Yeah, that is the good question here. You know, I know that we know they went in the tank here, but yeah, I mean, you could try. I mean, I would probably, at this point with this lead, I would probably play it similarly to the other table where I would play Ace of Hearts, Jack of Hearts. I'm not going to burn my entry. So I have 2 spades, 4 hearts if they behave. We've got 2 diamonds, and then it's just a question of where does that 9th trick come from? Spades, clubs, or what? That's what will put them in the tank here. But this gives them a much better perspective on the hand and more possibilities than was afforded by the other table with the club lead. All right, a heart, 2 diamonds, 2 spadoodles. North here does have a good hand. Might bid 4 diamonds at this point.
Maybe or just 4 spades.
Or 4 spades, yeah. It depends on how aggressive you want to be. They decide to go with spades here, which South already made kind of stretched. Well, I wouldn't say stretched because they have 7 of them, but they made a maybe tad lighter than normal 2 spade bid. But their hand is perfect for it here, I think, with also Ace Jack 9 4th of diamonds.
Yeah.
No, opposite what looks like very likely shortness. So they'll play 4 spades. On a non-club lead, looks like there's some very good chances for 6.
So win, rough a diamond.
Yeah, you might win this. Jack of Hearts.
Heart to the Jack. Well, I guess, yeah. Heart to the Jack, rough another diamond, take a pitch. I'll probably end up making 6, I would guess. So at the other table in 3-no trump, Jazz did play the same. Well, she played ace jack of hearts.
All right, so she played ace jack of hearts. Yes. Now, of course, South needs to figure out what to play. Let's see what. So okay, I know they're probably playing reverse Smith. So it went 9 of hearts and then 7 of hearts, which should convey to South that their partner doesn't have the ace of spades. So I think a spade is out of the question.
Right.
Now it's just a matter of what do you switch to at this point.
And she knows the king of spades is. If he doesn't play a spade, she knows the king of spades is on her right now.
Right.
So the question is, where do you go for your 9th trick?
Yeah, and at South, the question is, what do you play here? I almost would want to go for broke and try the queen of clubs and pass that through here. I find king like 3rd or something in Declare's hand. We're in great shape.
That could be. Declare could have the queen of diamonds and just have 9 tricks ready to go.
Right.
So you might need to take your club tricks off the top.
Is this where the tank happened, Kai?
I don't know where the tank happened. All I know is that there was a tank.
Ah, okay. We'll switch back in the meantime. All right, so let's see what Declare did. They played Jack of Hearts. Okay, they Jack of Hearts they overtook and pitched. Now they rough a club. Yeah, it just looks like all roads lead to 6 at this point. Unless you rough too many diamonds, but you might play Queen of Hearts here and see if they're roughing in. If anybody's roughing in, it would be East.
You might get a Trump promotion with the Jack of Spades.
Here, right. Which is why I would play a heart first. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with overtaking the heart. I think I would have just played the Jack of Hearts and then roughed a diamond. Unless West is swooping in and roughing with the ace of spades. Like, what am I worried about at that point? Yeah, so you can throw a diamond here, and that 9 of hearts actually allows you to play that card to force out the ace of spades, because if not, you have to cross back to hand with the club rough, and if you rough a diamond at that point, I think they are going to score the Jack of spades on a promotion.
Right.
Okay, or not. I don't know what roughing in there provides, but that was their chance for a second trick, and now it's for not. All right, making 6 again.
One thing that Jazz claimed in the very beginning of the KO event is she had a secret weapon that nobody else had.
Yeah, I heard about that. Have we found out what that is?
Oh, I know what it is. The question,
you know what it is.
The question is, can chat guess what Jazz's secret weapon is in this match? And
she's got a very long-standing partnership with her partner. I don't know if that's what it is or anything.
That's not it, but that is a very good secret weapon to have. It's a very good partnership.
Yeah.
But you have 7 minutes until her stream goes live again to guess.
Again. Now it makes me think it has something to do with internet. But I have no idea. I think one element is the element of time zones. Like here, it's like 9 p.m. Singapore time as opposed to 9 a.m. American time. You can catch them while they're still asleep, which I think is brilliant.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so the other table rolled in 3 no trumps, so that's a big swing here to Jazz's team.
It looks like she actually made another trick. She ducked out.
Yeah, so let's take a look in the right-hand corner at what happened. So after that play, they played back a club, correctly guessed. Now at this point, you're not even, at this point you can actually knock out the 8 of spades and throw a diamond on the 6. That's gonna bring 10 tricks in, which it did. So good result for Jazz's team.
And now
they're in very, very good shape.
Right, we're not in tie area anymore. And Gongongju, the answer is they are playing 10 boards, but
a minimum of 10,
but potentially 14, depending on if they tie. If they manage to finish within a margin of 0 or 6 imps, either plus or minus, either side, that counts as a tie, and you have to break the tie. So we will be adding 2 more boards if they're still tied after 10 boards, and then 2 more boards if they're still tied after 12 boards. So that's how many boards they're playing. And Mr. ATC guessed Stockfish, which is a great answer, but no, Jazz does not have Stockfish. As far as I know, Stockfish has not been made for Bridge just yet, which I very deeply appreciate.
Stockfish?
I'm looking up what Stockfish is now. That's a new term for me.
Oh,
it's an open source chess engine. Okay.
It's basically
either that or it's unsalted fish, according to Wikipedia. I don't think that's what it is.
Yes, it is. Stockfish is the chess engine that is very good at playing chess and beats literally every human that exists. So,
well, fortunately,
isn't Gibbo supposed to be the Stockfish of Bridge?
No, it's not even close.
Wow! I can't believe you just roasted Gibbo.
It might beat some novices.
All right. So
we're lucky that
Bridge
is the only game left, actually, that AI can't play as well as humans.
Even Go?
Even Go. AI finally AI learned to play Go by playing against itself. They developed a Go engine to play, and then they trained a second engine playing against that engine. And that's what made it actually surpassed humans at that point.
Wow. Stockfish is just asking Big Kev.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
That's a great comment, Scott.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I have Big Kev on my team then. And then why was that decided as the format? Well, because I don't think we've ever seen anything like it in the Bridge world. And also, I think it opens up the possibilities to adding very interesting tie breaks and some very interesting strategy. Do you just go for the win, or do you, assuming that there's a chance that you might tie, go for as many beer cards as you possibly can, or work on the BAM as heavily as you possibly can, going for those tie breaks as opposed to going for winning by a large margin. And it also depends on what you think the state of the match is. Do you think you're tying? Do you think you need those beer cards? Do you need the BAM? Or do you need to claw back into the match, or just maintain your lead that you think is bigger than 6 or less than 6? So I think it adds a level of strategy that we haven't really seen before in Bridge, and I'm very excited to see what happens with this format being here.
Like that, instead of just like your classic formats. This is an interesting hand here for North-South. So it went a club, a heart, 3 clubs, 3 diamonds. Guess just trying to punt to see if they have a 5-3 heart fit. South decides to temporize with 3 spades. They're going to wind up in 3 no trump, which based on points you wouldn't think is terrible, but this is a hellacious misfit.
You have an awful lot of high cards for 3.
You have a lot of high cards, but what you're lacking is tricks to develop, I would say. The only suit that actually works for developing tricks is spades, which is not going to be your first choice necessarily. You got nothing in diamonds outside the ace. You got 2 clubs, and you got entry issues to deal with to get to 2 clubs. This is going to be an interesting hand, and depending on if a pair can bring in 9 tricks here, this could be a potential swing board. We'll see what's going on at the other table while we wait for a lead. Most of the part, this is a big thing. We're actually waiting for a lead here, which is going to be interesting. East is trying to figure out what to do here because they obviously don't want to lead clubs. Turns out their best lead is a heart. But the king of diamonds is also equally effective. All right, so 4 spades here on this table. Actually, it's same exact auction. So at least making 5, potentially 6 on this, as we saw here. All right, now the moment of truth for Cornelius in 3-0.
I would assume he's just gonna. Oh, he found a heart.
Yeah, it just goes with the 4th best heart.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's quite a lead.
Good find.
well, I was just trying to fish for something here. Maybe the king, maybe the 10. They get the 10-9 instead. Very, very nice.
Very good cards to hit from
All
partner.
right, now Declarer is in the soup right away. Now they got to figure out what to do.
Not the soup.
Yeah, it's not a good place to be on this hand. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a lot of soup.
You have so many, like, you want to set up the clubs, but you have
You want
so
to set
many
up the clubs. You want to set up the diamonds. You could eventually set up the hearts, but you're at risk of losing timing on a lot of other things by doing that. So, yeah, this is not a fun hand.
Yeah, I mean, like, the best thing you could do is potentially just throw hearts back at them and see if, in the end, they're able to lead something that's beneficial
yeah, I mean,
for you.
if you know that they're if you know
or-
they're 4-4, you certainly could.
You could just give up and go after the beer cart.
I also like this strategy.
There is beer card potential here, and you might actually think you have it if diamonds are just 3-2.
But diamonds are not 3-2 here, so the beer card has kind of been killed already.
You said these are boards that you guys pre-created, right?
Yes, they were randomized, though.
This was all part of your plan. You put the 7 of diamonds here as a ruse. I'm
That's
calling it now.
definitely what we were doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We are very, very cruel creators.
Yes.
Tempting them with this tie break. But yeah, a reasonable tank going on here, because...
Yeah, there's, I mean, this is not a fun hand to play as Declare. You're just trying to figure out what is your best route to 9 tricks, which looks very bleak on a misfit hand. Even if the club's behaved, the fact that you have 0 of them just does not give you a lot of promising roads there. They might go after diamonds, which won't work here.
Right, if they split 4-3, you're hoping for someone to be holding 10-9 third, and...
Yes, not a very high probability to pursue that.
Right, but also, you know, yeah, because you only have 2 entries there, and you would need 2 entries for that to be the case. Right. So you would probably have to try to figure something else out, maybe getting an extra heart trick, maybe getting an extra diamond trick, and an extra spade trick or something. I don't really see how you get to 9 tricks before the defense sets up their 9 tricks.
Well,
exactly. It's a race to see. It's a race, you know. Declare's trying to find 9. Defense has their sights set on 5. Who prevails here?
All right, we've got a play to start.
All right, so decide to throw a diamond.
Take the 9 of hearts, and now it's a moment of panic because.
Yeah, Declare flies ace. All right, the moment of truth here at the beginning of this is if they play a diamond, will Declare remember to play the 9 of diamonds. But it's probably all for naught now because they pitched 1.
Yeah. The 7 of diamonds is very difficult to win now, especially.
Yeah, the beer card is in big danger now.
It's really in the soup.
Yeah, yes, it is in the soup. Very good.
It's a spade to the king and ace queen of clubs. Looks like your only real chance.
Yeah, that's probably what they went for when they threw a diamond, is trying to work on clubs.
Yeah.
But not today. Of course, East knows now that their partner has the 10 of hearts, so they can certainly play hearts as soon as they get in again.
At the other table, they only rebid 2 clubs with this hand instead of 3 clubs.
Yeah, they went a little lower, but North having 11 points probably means game is still getting reached. You know, an invite is getting accepted. But we'll take a look while we wait for this.
Yeah, I guess they underbid because of the heart void, which is reasonable.
Yeah, this is like a 2.5 club bid here. So some will bid 3, some will bid 2. I don't mind either. Now, is North gonna like bid 2 diamonds? Just to see if there's a 5-3. 2 spades. Guess you could even try 2 no trump, although with a void, that certainly isn't the most attractive option. All right. So they play a spade to the king. They play ace of clubs, jack of clubs. They see the 10 fall, which gives a momentary, like, did I find it? Like,
Did I find the line?
Yeah, it was like, is this about to work? Only for their dreams to be shattered very soon.
It is a very dream-shattering hand, isn't it?
Yeah. They decide to throw a spade to hold on the hearts in case they need to. I think East should just win this king. No reason to hold up when you know the split's bad. And you know your partner's got the 10 of hearts. You can certainly just play a heart here.
Right. I mean, it makes some sense if you held the 8, you might want to be... Well, no. If you held the 8, then declare had no reason to continue.
if you knew that West had 10-9 third, you might hold
Well,
up just to be like, are you sure you want to keep playing this?
If he knows if he ducks to.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question is, if you duck, like, what is Declare going to work on? Like, do they still have even a remote chance of 9 tricks if I duck this?
You don't want to wind up getting end played. It might make sense to duck.
That is something to think about here. Is if you're trying to avoid being end played, to have to break this club seat at the end. If they just stop pursuing it altogether.
Yeah, I think that he knows that he has a pretty safe heart exit.
He does, and you also have to think about, like, they only have 1 entry back to the board with the ace of diamonds. It seems like this is what they're trying to do, and it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So that's an argument to do this now.
So the other table, they got the 3-0 trump from the other side and got the
3-0 trump from the other side.
Got the lead of the queen of diamonds.
Yeah, if you lead the queen of diamonds, you actually just unfortunately and not unreasonably, you just blew up the suit.
And there's a chance at the beer card.
Yes, there is the beer card. So now you can actually set yourself up for 2 diamonds on that lead. You got the 2 hearts. Yeah, there are much higher chances of 9 tricks at that point.
And at this moment, they're still playing that board, so they've gone through the 15-minute delay, and are still thinking on it. So this is certainly one to check back.
It's not an easy hand, that's for sure.
I'm excited for the potential at our first beer card here.
Oh, they just played the beer card. They ducked with a 7.
I just had a result come in.
All right. So here's a question for you guys. I can tell a story while we wait. What is the longest tank you've seen in a live bridge game, not an online one?
Oh, I have no clue. I don't pay attention to that.
I remember one at a regional. I was just kibitzing on this board. It was a knockout. It was involving John Kraniak on some hand. So I'm sitting down to watch. He's waiting to make the play. My partner was a smoker, so he goes outside for a cigarette. I think he went across the street to actually get something from a store as well. He comes back. He's like, "What happened?" I was like, "They still haven't played a card. This must have been at least 10 minutes."
Well, I have a hand. There's actually a Gargoyle Chronicles video about this hand called the Huddle, where it was the last board of a Swiss.
Yeah,
and I had a guess to make in the end position, and I described, it's just impossible. You have a choice of plays, and both of them make no sense. The defense has done something weird, and you have to figure out what it is. And as I describe it, it's the last board, and I'm sitting there playing, and my partner and my opponents get up and go start talking about the talking about the match, and our teammates go over and they compare two ways based on which card I play at the end, and everyone else is finished. They go over the director and they give the director the two scores depending on what card I play, and then the custodians come and start folding up the tables and folding up the chairs, and I'm left sitting alone in the middle of the gymnasium with my head in my hands trying to decide what to play.
Did you get it right?
I did get it right. Yes.
Let's go.
You're gonna think that long. You got to get it right.
Now it looks like Declare. Well, yeah, Declare is going to be down 2 here. As long as they, as East doesn't get stuck in to play a club at the end, we'll be down 2. Not an unreasonable line, just did not work here. And I guess we're still waiting for the other table to play this in real time potentially. So could be a while before we get a comparison.
I think we need to go and look at the other table really quick.
All right.
Look at this.
So
look at that.
Queen of Diamonds lead and they duck. That seems odd.
And they don't just duck.
They didn't just duck. They ducked they intentionally duck. I think we got to end the stream.
I think it's over, guys.
Yeah. It just seems with the spots, I don't really see a reason why you'd want to duck. I mean, I know it doesn't look great, but like, what am I winning by ducking here?
I think that what they're doing is NYC.Bridge is just absolutely saying, guys, I really don't care about this rule that you've created. I'm just going to play good bridge. And this statement is very, very offensive to me.
Yeah, as somebody who organized this event, I would definitely consider whether I'm inviting him back for the next iteration.
Absolutely.
With this display of arrogance.
This display of arrogance is ridiculous.
He's just hoping to give him a problem, and he knows it's a stiff king, so he's just hoping he won't know what to shift.
Yeah, I mean, again, now this hand basically becomes the same hand as what we saw before, just one trick forward. The same play of what am I doing here? Certainly not playing a club. I feel like they might fall on the same heart shift they made, or they might try for a spade as well. All right, we know this hand took a very long time from potentially multiple players, except the dummy, of course. So we'll go to this one here. All right. So diamond, spade, no trump, 3-no seems normal. All right. Gotta find some tricks. So club lead here by the defense.
We have a comment. We have some comments from chat. John Morph says 7 of diamonds terminated.
Yeah.
And Mr. ATC says she knows you shouldn't play the 2, but the good Lord gave you the 9. The beer gave you the 9. The beer gods gave you the 9. Play the 9.
Well, the nine of diamonds also has special meaning, right? Isn't that that's the Curse of Scotland, right?
The Curse of Scotland, yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you don't want to play the Curse of Scotland necessarily either.
Okay, sure, fine, whatever.
Look, I know about that card from Michael Rosenberg. That's one of his things. He is Scotty after all.
He do be Scotty.
All right, so they decide to duck the opening lead. South plays a club back.
Spade to the king.
Yeah, so they're gonna play a spade to the king.
And a heart to the 10. That would be my guess.
Right. Ooh, they fly with the ace of spades, so they actually just cracked open that suit. Now give them 3 tricks for sure. I'm guessing they did this with the intention of playing a high club here, thinking they can get in with their king of diamonds.
Yeah, so now you take an avoidance play in hearts.
Yeah, if you take the avoidance play in hearts, so let's see, you have 3 spades, 2 clubs, a diamond, but they need 4 hearts, right? If you run the jack of hearts from West hand, that would only give you 3. I can't count. That's 3, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's 9. Never mind. That would work.
So they finally found the Queen of Hearts shift from the other table.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're West here, I think you just play a spade to the jack and then run the jack of hearts out of your hand.
Yeah.
Not received any director calls yet. That's exciting.
Were you expecting to?
I don't know, for whatever reason, something might
I think
happen.
most people are good enough about policing themselves.
Yes, I agree. Well, I mean, I'm not. I mean, it could be like a tournament question or something.
Sure. All right. So now Declare is not going to screw around. They have their contract made. They will fly ace, heart to the board, queen of spades, and then just concede the last, making 3. Well, could be potentially a good result for East West here. That ace of spade play certainly made their hand a lot easier to navigate for 9 than a low spade would have. All right. So at minimum, 3 more boards to go here, as we will have to wait after board 10 to see what happens. All right. Well, you could make a frisky 2-heart preempt with West if you wanted to, but they're not a very like juniorist pair in terms of their adventurous bidding, so they go low and pass. We're going to see 2 spades from North. Okay, so they play multi, so 2 diamonds.
Love me a good multi.
All right, so I would just overcall 2 no trump here with East's hand, which still should be strong balanced. Is the way most people play that. You do not, in the ACBL, you do not need to have the predefined multi defenses available anymore. So you actually have to know it.
Yep, you have to know your own multi defenses. They decided that
You
the
can
piece
play
of
the
paper
ACBL
was too
ones,
OP.
or you can have your own one. So 3 diamonds transfer. Looks like they will probably wind up in 4 hearts then. I guess there is the alternative of trying 3 no trump, but I think West, having a stiff spade, would much prefer 4 hearts here. East does have ultimate authority, though, and with Queen Jack 9/4, they might opt for no trump instead. And they do. Okay, well, that does unwedge 1 fear on this hand from Declare's perspective, which would be a diamond lead. Let's see what they do here. Does look very safe in no trump. And with that lead, it's very, very safe.
Yes, just got safer.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good spot here. 4 hearts would have a little more work associated with it. They did well to stay in no trump here. That's actually been a theme on this hand. It feels like in this match, there's been a lot of hands where it's come down to, are you preferencing into a major or playing no trump? And I think both sides have really stuck out for no trump as much as possible so far. But we'll see what the other table does on this one.
Primarily because of the BAM tiebreak.
Yes, that is. Yes, the BAM tiebreak does mean a lot here. That's true.
But that also means that you're usurping the beer card tiebreak in your thought process a little bit here.
All right, so I'm curious. You have 6 matches scheduled in the next 3 days. I'm curious, how many of them do you think will come down to a beer card tiebreak?
I'm hoping that at least 2 of them will.
2? That's only after 14 boards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's you should have run that as a poll this morning. That would have been a fun poll.
Yeah, no, that certainly would be a fun poll.
Might still be a fun poll. People might not agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, now South is trying to figure out what to play now. So North tried to wave them off in spades. So
It's actually a complicated problem how likely you are to have a tie, because it's not enough to be tied after 14 boards. You have to be tied after 10 and after 12.
yeah, you got to
also.
still be there. Exactly.
You have to be tied after a lot of boards
Yeah.
for the tie breaks to actually apply.
All right, I have the NYC.Bridge stream up, so I'm seeing where they are on this board. They're not much further than when we last checked in. All right, 10 of diamond play. Yeah, you take this as declare. You know where the ace of spades is. Yeah, they're just gonna play a spade out of their hand. They take two spade. They'll take one spade, 5 hearts, 2 clubs, 1 diamond. That's 9, so they won't screw around here. And that will be their way to 9 tricks on this board. Yeah, there were a lot of round robin matches, at least between some of the teams that we'll be seeing in this knockout, that were relatively close. 2 extra boards gives that a lot of possibilities, but yeah, we could certainly see it happen. It would be fun to see it happen too.
Kai is an insider in BBO. I was wondering if you could answer a question for me. They have a lot of data. I mean, every hand that's ever been played on BBO is they presumably have in their database, and it seems to me like that would be a huge resource for players wanting to do analysis. You know if they've ever considered monetizing that, offering that as a resource?
If they have, I have no clue. They haven't told me. I'm not that much of an insider. I'll tell you that much. So I don't know.
You're not at the secret meetings they host in like the bat lair.
No, I'm not at the BBO bat layer meetings, unfortunately. But
and you can even have
someday.
an AI layer on top of the database where you can just ask questions in English, like what's my expectation if I have 14 high card points and a 5 card suit opening a no trump instead of the suit? I mean, do I have positive expectation with that or not? If you could just ask questions like that in English, that would be a huge boon.
Yeah, that would be absolutely insane.
Yeah, North tries to cash out here, not seeing many better options, and now this will be 10 tricks for East West on this board once the hearts split. So good result here on this board. And there was a push on the 3-0 hand at the other table, the very difficult one with the Queen of Diamonds lead. So it was down 2. So that was a potential swing board, depending on what happened exactly. The Queen of Diamonds gave him an extra opportunity, but also down 2. All right. At least 2 to go here at this table. As we come down the home stretch. So it goes pass. It's going to go probably 3 passes to West here. Ooh. Some people open this a club. Others will open this a club or a no trump, depending on your style, whether you want to upgrade this or not. Well, I think they're playing 14 plus to 17. They're not playing 14 to 16, which would answer that question right away. All right, so he goes with 1 now. Now, and maybe this is an imps thing. Yeah, they actually pass here, which I think I certainly would at match points. I don't know if I would at imps, but I could certainly sympathize with East passing here with the 8 count.
Yeah, I think vol. I think I would bid. Non-vol, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think this is a style thing. You know, the question, and of course, there's lots of things you can ask about this hand. The first one being, would you even open a no trump with the West hand? You might, just because the 5 card suit is pretty paltry. All right, well, an advantageous 10 of clubs lead, but they still have I mean, not in one no, but they do have a lot of work cut out for them if they were to get to 3 at the other table. It feels like a lot of suits you need to develop and not a lot of transportation to achieve it.
There's some interesting points made in the chat about choosing 3-no trump versus 4 of a major, and people point out, correctly in my view, that you're more off. You have more of an incentive to choose 4 of a major at match points than you do at EMPs. At EMPs, 3-no trump is often the safer contract. It's just because 9 tricks are easier than 10.
Right.
And the extra, if you, I mean, as Kit has pointed out, to play 3-no trump. To choose 3-no trump versus 4 of a major at EMPs, it's okay unless the major takes 2 more tricks than no trump. Whereas in match points, if it takes 1 more trick than no trump, it's right to play the major. So it's actually right to choose 3-on trump more often at EMPs than at match points.
All right, so what do you do as declare here, and where are you looking for tricks here is the question. There are some good spot cards in the diamond suit worth probably going after.
Yeah, if you just leave the 10 of diamonds and pass it, it's hard to see how you're going to go down.
Right. Kai, you did us a disservice here. I feel like this is a hand where you certainly should have slipped in the 7 of diamonds.
My bad.
This is one worth going for.
Absolutely my bad.
Yeah. All right.
We'll
So they're going to
take your
just play
feedback
ace of
into account.
diamonds and try to set up a second diamond trick, it looks like. All right. We'll see. 9, queen, doesn't matter, but we'll see what they go with. They try the 9. Jack. Club back from declare, from south, I mean.
What was the opening lead on this one? A low club?
10 of clubs. I'm guessing they lead coded. Or Rusino, just one of those two.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, as North, my partner started my partner played the 9 of clubs on the first one, but I just don't see a better option here. I certainly don't want to break away any of my kings. I probably would just play a club back at this point, even though that helps declare just set up the clubs if they really want to.
We have a little bit of untangling to do here.
Yeah, there is.
There's a lot. Yeah.
There is some work to be done. I mean, they have the entry in the ace of spades. I'm guessing if they take that, they might even just eschew the finesse. Again, they're only in 1. Yeah. Getting the 7 tricks doesn't seem too tricky here. It's a much bigger question if they're in 3 at the other table. Yeah, so North, not seeing any better options, decides to play a club back. And now Declare has to figure out what to do. They have a lot. I mean, they have a lot of different routes to making it at this point, it feels like. They play a diamond.
Yeah. I am deeply enjoying the other table right now.
Let's see what's going on at the other table.
Well, no. I'm 15 minutes ahead.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
But 2 imps went to JazPlaysBridge on that
Yes,
last board
so
for
they got
taking
some
2 over
they got
tricks.
some over tricks.
Actually,
and
I'm
I
curious,
just screwed up.
how did the play go on that one? Because it
Yeah, we'll
looked,
take a look.
He decked the ace of spades, and then Jazz took a heart finesse. So now you've got a lot of tricks.
So club lead, 10 low, club back, duck spade. They got the hearts right. Because
Yeah,
they weren't in danger
ducking
here.
the spade gives you the flexibility to get the hearts right.
Right, right. So now they play. They get spades right here too. Okay, so yeah.
and then North gets squeezed.
Oh
no.
Ow! Not with
No.
an entry. Not with.
Well, we just had a.
They got pseudo squeezed.
They got pseudo squeezed.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't cash your
Yeah. All right.
enough tricks and into the right hand for the squeeze to work.
So that's what Jay Dizzle was apologizing about.
Apologize.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, every trick does matter when you play by these slim with these extra rules and just regular rules too, of course.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, Jazz is very confidently winning the BAM at this moment.
They are, which is another tiebreaker as well. They're up 4-1 on that.
well, there have been no beer cards that we've seen anyway.
No, there have been no beer cards. I've been
very discouraging.
I've been very, very carefully looking through all of them.
You have a that's why you have a score for it on your left hand side.
Mm-hmm. I'm
actually gonna almost a beer here. It's just the 7 of spades taking the last trick, not the 7 of diamonds.
Yeah, that's why I haven't been talking a lot, is because I've been paying attention to the tables to be sure about the scoring things.
All right. Anyway, making 3. So
Peter
we'll
Holland.
see what happens at the other table. If they get to 3, will they make it? Could be some imps on the line that NYC.Bridge is desperately searching for in this closing stretch.
Peter Hollins on his weekly free instant tournament video seems to score the beer card about two times out of every 3, 2 sessions out of every 3. So I'm guessing that's about in an 8-board match.
There definitely are some
about
people
right,
we know
yeah.
who are beer hunters. We'll see if they're able to pull off any in this KO match. All right, so last hand before a break at this table, so it goes a heart, double, pass. All right, well, I guess a semi-interesting bidding decision here as North.
Yeah, I would bid 1-0 Trump myself.
They decide to jump to 2, which seems a little aggressive with nothing in the way of spots.
Yes.
I might just bid 1 here, as you mentioned.
I'd like to be very aggressive with my 1-level takeout doubles also. So 2-0 Trump isn't.
And
so
I think I would expect partner
doubles.
to do so as well. The partner technically has extras in the sense because even though they have a singleton, they actually have a full 13 count. And yeah, I guess for that reason they go to 3, which is just doomed.
Yeah, it would certainly double the same hand without the ace of diamonds.
Yeah. I get that. So, all right. So this just has what? I guess I just really have to count what the defense is taking, which is 7 tricks. Yeah, this is a hand where North is regretting they don't have ace-10 fourth of hearts. Ace empty fourth isn't going to get the job done, unfortunately. All right, well, board 8 was a push at the other table. Similar auction, but instead of multi, it was just a 2-spade opening, and East decided to also opt for 3-no trump. All right, let's take a look at the other table. I feel like that's where some more interesting decisions could come in these last 2 boards. All right, so I don't know the East-West no trump range, but they are opening a club with, I'm guessing, the intention of jumping to 2-0 here.
Yeah, I believe they play 15 to 17.
All right.
So.
Well, East is 1,000% bidding 3 then. All right. So we got a lead problem too here. I think with this auction, usually emphasizing more clubs. Well, I mean, the other table didn't emphasize clubs at all with 1-0. I feel like North is backing off a club lead. The question is, what are they leading? Are you leading a spade here instead? They are. They go with the spade lead, and yeah, just Declare has, a lot of things they need to work on. Not a lot of transportation to do so. And if South is the one getting in, they can push spades through and make this even trickier. I think, again, we have to see the hand play it out, but this does feel like a win here for NYC.Bridge because I think 9 tricks is going to be very difficult to come by. Also worth noting, if it does go down 2, is it's vulnerable. I believe I saw that double dummy set 8 tricks is available here for East-West, but they have to get to 8.
Double dummy analyzer. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that is not very accurate on things. They gotta achieve that here first.
It atrophies your brain.
Yes.
And board 10 may be a pickup for NYC.Bridge.
Yeah, no, yes, exactly. That's why I wanted to come here for this one is because we're gonna see 3 no trump go down a few here. So as long as if they avoid that trap, they could make this match very, very interesting in the closing 2 boards.
So board 11 has come up, but we're pausing, right? Board 11 is
Yeah, they're
showing
paused.
at the table.
They have to pause until this table completes, right?
Yeah. But you're 15 minutes ahead of us. You know whether they continued or not. Already.
Yeah, well, he's not going to say a word. We can't even bribe him for the answer.
Oh, the chat at this table is hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I haven't been paying enough attention to table chat. Honestly, my expectations for table chat would just be hurt now after seeing the great one between the Pro Quart and Kachung match. The emoji special at the
that was
table.
very amusing.
That was awesome.
She might just try a low club out of her hand at this point. If she finds king third of clubs on side, that brings her up to 8 tricks. What?
Yes, true.
And then she can toss North in with a spade and force a red suit return. It looks like the best line to me, but it's not going to work.
And as Isaac said, the website auto-tracks beers, so it'll catch anything that I miss, and as long as they don't claim, right? And the players have been instructed not to claim. They have to play it out if they have the beer cards, if they want their beer cards. I'm so frustrated because I know all the secrets. I know everything that's going on, but I can't say anything. It's no fun being the person with the extra information.
When do we find out what Jazz's secret is? Is she only going to tell it in her stream or what?
Yeah, so Jazz's secret weapon, and she's making her opponent's guess now because she's mentioned now that she has a secret weapon, I believe, is that they have they have a thing that like just highlights the beer card on their screens.
They have a plugin that if you have the 7 of diamonds will actually point it out.
Yes, it highlights it highlights the
nice.
beer card.
Okay, so
who built that for them?
I think that they made it themselves.
Okay.
They tried the low club, as you mentioned. I feel like this was a missed opportunity by South. I would have overtaken this 8 with the 9 and pushed the spade through.
Yes.
I won't want my partner to be stuck on lead here, and
you can't be sure partner has the 8 of spades. I could just give away a spade trick, but
true. But now this diamond is not going to help their cause.
Right.
Actually, at this point, a very key card for North-South. 7 of diamonds. Does serve as an extra stopper there. Yeah, West decides to just try to fire one back to see what they do now.
It's not at all clear whether to win this or duck it. Is it? They decide to.
Yeah, they win it, and are they playing the 10 of spades?
I guess they're not afraid of the club suit. The way the clubs went, it doesn't look like the suit is running.
True. Yes. Unless you think West has 6 of them, and maybe they were just playing a low one for communication purposes, but probably not. Yeah, I have that BBO extension that they mentioned on Bridge Winners from a few years ago. We should contact the developer to put in the beer card highlighter.
I love the beer card highlighter.
Yeah.
I love that this was something specifically made for Bridge Brawl.
Oh, they didn't, I mean, it could be specifically made for this. For some enthusiasts, they would have already had it. Because you don't just adopt the beer for this event. You're a beer enthusiast for life.
Now the question is, after people now know about this, is Jazz going to share this innovation?
Yeah. I wouldn't. Figure it out yourself, right?
Are you guys enjoying this defense? This is what I was watching like 15 minutes ago.
Well, I mean, the 10 of spades is a great play here, as we can see. It does really make Declare's life difficult. They would have preferred anything else, you know. Heart helps, club and plays north. They did well here to play the 10 of spades. Yeah, I agree with Harsh duality.
Harsh, that's
you don't
funny.
need a plug-in. The beer's always glowing.
The beer is always glowing for you.
Like what's that hotel chain where the thing is we'll always leave the light on for you? I think it's Motel 6. Yeah, same thing with the beer card for Harsh duality. Yeah, so they just duck here. Now comes another spade. All right, so Is Declare now going to try the club hook?
Yeah, you just have to hope the clubs run, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and then going back to something I mentioned as this hand began, I see. The defense might pull out 6 tricks here, which down 2 is a very good score on this board with that with them being vulnerable.
Yeah, very, very powerful.
Yeah, and combined with what we already know on board 10, could serve as some extra. We could have some extra action coming. Potentially, we'll see. All right, so I mean, West can pitch whatever, and North will just now play another club, but they can't throw away that other loser, right?
It's a hard if clubs are 3-3. She's made it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, not even the diamonds breaking is good enough for you.
Right.
Yeah, they just concede the club to make sure they don't go down 3. So anyway, good pickup here for NYC.Bridge. This will be 8 and slim it to 10 with 1 board to go. And to reiterate the rules, it has to be by 7 or more, right?
Yes, the victory or loss has to be 7 or more for things to be decisive.
All right, so NYC.Bridge is looking for 4 imps on this last board.
And they have a good
and they are in a good chance. We saw what happened at the other table with 3-0. So all right.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna guess it's gonna be a same start to the auction. The question is, how many no trumps does North bid? Chat, who wants extra boards, is rooting for 1 no trump. And we get 1. Okay.
Yep.
East decides to not bid, thinking they can just beat 1 no trump out of their hand,
right.
Which they are.
Or hoping for bigger and better things.
Yeah, or hoping South keeps going. South passes. And this is where the auction should end. Yeah, all right. So down 1 would be
5 imps.
5 imps. All right. Do we have some extra innings coming our way?
We love extra innings.
All right, and the first match out of the gate is going to activate Kai's tiebreakers, where we're going to have to play another 2 boards.
I am the evil game master.
Yes.
You have to play more boards.
Too. More rigged than WWE.
He was happy to see that 10 of hearts hit in dummy.
Yeah, I mean, one no you're happy, 3 no you're ecstatic when you see that card. Yeah, East decides to not mess around here. If you do actually duck a club, no, that's still only 6. Never mind.
Yeah, they've got 4 diamond tricks, but it's still not enough.
All right, so I guess we have to wait. Is board 11 started at the other table?
The board 11 is started at the other table, or it's starting.
We'll go to board 11 now.
I told them at this point that there was that the other table would be tying.
Yeah. Okay. So you told them that the match would go on. Got
Yeah,
it.
I told them the match would go on. I didn't know the exact score, but the match was going to go on. And poor C. Duffy said that he had places to be.
Well, sorry, we can't all be cool like you, Cornelius.
No, and I think he said it as a joke, so I don't think
I
there's
know.
any.
But we're going to have a 15-minute delay before we see it, right? Or how long ago did they
They
start it?
should know this. I mean,
No, I told them to
this-
start earlier. They should be
Yeah.
starting just soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just
all right.
started.
Let's. So they goes pass. Probably a no trump by North.
I guess that's what I would do.
All right. Transfer auction, 3 no trump. It smells like.
Yeah. And now East has an awkward hand to lead from.
Yeah, this is not a super fun lead.
I guess I just leave the 10 of clubs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 10 of clubs, you just really need to jack from your partner to be fine. That's what they do. Declare does not have a ton of entries to take tricks on this hand, though. That is the one thing to take into account here as they try to, map their route to 9.
Well, the percentage play in spades is a spade to the jack, but you don't really have the entries to do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. So, all right. So it's 7 or more, like with their cumulative scores after 2 more boards, right? So it would be for Jazz's team, they just need to be net at least 2 more imps in that case, just to make sure I understand the rules. Is that right, Kai?
Sorry, what?
It's still like cumulative, so Jazz's team needs a net 2 imps in these 2 boards to avoid a
Correct.
second tiebreaker, right?
Correct. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can't do spade to the jack here with the transportation. I mean, I guess you could if you're psychic and knew the ace of hearts was onside, but you're not trying that.
500. That's...
It's a tough hand.
So they do stick in the jack. Not a fun communication hand to untangle. And now, I guess
Yeah,
one
I'm
thing
not sure that's-
one thing you might hear is if you're in dummy with the jack of clubs, are you playing spades or are you playing diamonds?
Probably diamonds.
Yeah.
Just
Onker asks if they know to score, and and Kai dropped the score in chat, so I guess the answer to that is yes. I guess you need to know the score, right? Because you need to kind of have an understanding of state of the match. So East decides to duck the diamond. Now they'll just repeat. Okay.
and now they got 9 tricks.
Yes, they have 3 diamonds, 2 spades. Club
Jack of
and
hearts.
eventually a heart.
Jack
I
of
know
hearts,
2 clubs. They have 2 clubs with the entry in spades. Yes, correct.
Jack of hearts give him a problem, but you can only even if Declare gets it wrong, you're only taking 3 heart tricks. So
Right. All right, let's go to the other table. So 3 no trump. 10 of club lead was won by the ace. So JD is going to go after spades. Jazz will win this. And what will the defense do now? And one thing to think about from Jazz's team's perspective is with the margin being 5 and there being 2 boards here, this could just come down to over tricks. So that's something they'll be on the hunt for potentially.
yeah.
Okay. So also with those last 2 boards, NYC.Bridge is shaving down the BAM tiebreaker too if it comes to that. Now only just 1 board behind on that. All right, so Wes hoping for some perfect holding with the Jack of Diamonds. Not unreasonable if your intention is trying to set a contract. Yes, JD does have very high beer potential here. Worth noting.
Yes.
That is if he's allowed to get to that. The communication can be very shaken up here on a diamond return. And now you can't probably afford the beer.
Well, in the club return, he doesn't know he can afford the finesse.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of different things at play here on this one. Let's see what were. Again, you take this at face value, but let's see where the spades played by the defense, where they played this. So they played. I don't know what type of Smith East-West play, if they play any, but West did play their lowest spade first, for what it's worth. If Declare wants to read into that.
Oh, he cashed the 7 of diamonds at the other table.
Ah, no. You hate to see it.
I mean, it's much harder to get to that beer position.
They don't have enough intel, unfortunately.
I'm still disappointed.
Yeah, well, of course. It's like that famous meme, right? Like
they have 9 tricks.
Maya is joining us.
Spade to the king, king of clubs, spade to the ace, and but you can't. Then you've got all the heart losers. So I guess you can't really do it.
We have the captain of NYC.Bridge joining the cast. How's it going, Maya?
Hi. Well, I can't tell you, but it's suspenseful, is what I can't tell you.
Yes, the last 2 boards made this very, very exciting.
That's the thing about this format, is that we do not give up on the suspense.
I actually haven't been able to. Something with BBO, it's like being slow to show the results. So I do know what happened, but I don't know how. Like, I don't know what happened on these last boards.
I guess we'll be figuring out together then.
Yeah. What did they play on 9?
9, they played one. Your teammates played 1 no trump. They went low on that hand, which served them very nicely.
Yeah, I thought that they might.
Yes. Well, Derp opened the no trump, and Cornelius with his 8 count decided to just stay low, and that worked well there. They ended up taking 9 tricks, but if they were in 3, I don't think they would have. So yeah, it worked well.
Yeah. Nicely done, guys. I know they just kept bidding 3 no trump and making it. They kept like having 5-3 fits in the major.
That was a major
and then bidding
throughout
3 no
this match.
trump,
Was
and it
these
just like
major
comes
fits
in.
just being bypassed to play no trump, which worked well on a lot of hands. But both tables were doing the same thing. Okay, so we have a club here. Now JD has to guess whether he's going to hook this or not. Actually, if he hooks this, he can take the rest. And that is 2 imps and a beer if he does it.
2 imps and a beer?
Yes.
What a deal.
You know, from NYC.Bridge's perspective, there's still one more board to play, but 2 imps is huge at this point to avoid, you know, potentially just suffering the first, just losing by 7 after 2. You know, a push may not have been good enough, but 2 does give him some extra breathing room.
I definitely was happy with the way this one went. I was sitting there as the dummy, just, you know, just relaxing, sitting back relaxing, nothing else to do.
All right, you get your mouse on the stop button for the stream, because if the 7 of diamonds takes trick 12, I'm leaving.
It might be over.
I would have left 2, which is a little spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know if you left. That could have just added even more suspense.
Here it is. He's doing it.
He was tracking it 100% of the way.
All right. The beer card enthusiasts are rewarded. NYC.Bridge on the scoreboard with a beer. Time to update the tracker.
Yeah, really nicely played by JD. That's a tricky one. I mean, like, you take the club hook, and if it's off, you have no entries to the south.
Yes,
except for the 9 of diamonds.
He put everything on the line for that one. All right.
And then you have no entries to the north.
Kai was also enthused, as we can see from the table chat.
Yeah, they took the club hook at trick 1 at the other table, which I'm not crazy about. I think your partner played it right.
Okay, some goulash on board 12. We got a nice 11 card heart fit north south. They've had 12 and 11 card heart fits in this match. Again, East West having the minors on this one though.
Yeah, is it good to defend when you have a 12 card heart fit?
Yeah.
All right, so a club, a heart, 2 diamonds. Kind of interesting choice to bid the diamonds here.
Well, it's forcing.
Yeah, 4 hearts. All right, well, East West are double fit. Are they passing? Four hearts does look like it's making if you pick up the heart suit, and 5 minor is just down.
And do you have any reason to pick up the heart suit?
Well, they have to. Yeah. So now 5 clubs by East. Maybe the plan with bidding 2 diamonds was always to do this later if needed. West might preferences to 5 diamonds, having 4 of her own. Now, if they play 5 diamonds, opportunity here for our guest here to actually pick up 3 diamond tricks with club to the ace, rough, and then 2 later. Still in waiting. Okay, no, they find 5 clubs instead, which avoids that extra trick. And for what it's worth, beer potential in 5 clubs if you're there. But JD's having none of that. JD, modeled after a fellow NYC team member, he sees a double, he makes a double. Shout out to D-Lab, who was very sad that he wasn't playing in this match.
What do you think? 9/8 6th, 4 count.
I trust partner, except when I don't trust partner.
What about this time?
Playing with Isaac, I would have full trust. Playing with JD, none. I'm just kidding.
I'm looking forward to what the timer shows here on this next.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I guess we do have the plug-in to see how long it takes to make this bid.
If you're going to bid 5 hearts, you should have bid it over 5 clubs. I mean, it's to pass and then pull partners double.
Yeah, while we wait here, other table is playing 5 diamonds, which is hold up. Wait, what happened? How have they only taken 1 trick?
I had that same question.
Okay, what on earth happened here? Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Wow.
So what happened?
They both ducked a diamond.
Ah,
They crashed
okay.
their honors.
I see.
Wow. Okay then. Well, that's gonna mean 5 diamonds is rolling. And I'm just doing the math in my head. I'm doing the math in my head, and I realize who just joined stream. Okay, I have my outcome.
I did find
Maya
it
does
last
decide
year.
to pass.
I reticently passed. And now Jazz went back into the tank.
Okay, well, yes, back into the tank could be a pull to 5 diamonds, which is getting doubled because the precedent has been set.
I don't think it's a forcing.
It wasn't
pass,
spoilers.
though.
I didn't actually say who won. I did math. You do the math.
No, 4 hearts is a preempt. It's not a forcing pass.
Yeah, no, this isn't. All right, so they play 5 clubs
Right, so-
here.
No, I didn't think I had to bid 5 hearts to pull the double, but I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong.
Yeah.
JD leads ace of clubs. Can't lose anything that way. And yeah, this is just down 1. So
Well,
NYC.Bridge.
unless they crash their diamonds the way they did.
Okay, yeah. If the same diamond play again, stream ends if that happens. I can't. It can't end like that. Or well, I guess continue like that is actually the thing. I guess it makes it more exciting to continue, but come on now.
Oh, Jazz is joining. Welcome in, Jazz.
Hello, hello.
What a fight.
Yeah, this was a fun
Just
last
give me-
series of boards.
Yeah, that was so scary. And then they beard. We gave some up tricks and they beard, so we knew it was anyone's game.
Yeah, it was really, really close.
On both this one and board 3, you guys found really good sacks over our making contracts.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Is- I was
Maya
inspired
does
by
not
what
duck
you
the
said.
diamond.
I did not duck the diamond.
I
I
was
think
like,
this
how
next
do I
game
make
for me-
anybody duck the diamond? Maybe
All
the
right.
king would pop. King
Well,
button might pop.
yes.
But there's no way I have ace queen and I play that way.
Correct.
There's
All
no
right.
way.
Well, with this board, this is 11, the NYC.Bridge, and the match ends here.
But were there any beers on the other side?
No.
Yes, they did beer. Oh no, at the other table, no beers.
No
Yeah.
beers.
Sad.
It was
Only
boring.
beer was here, which is why I am awarding the match MVP award, sponsored by absolutely nobody, to JD Kurtzman.
JD.
What about
And
me? What
actually,
about
that was a
me?
critical beer because
And also, we also need to totally, absolutely, we love
Give
Jazz's
me-
secret weapon. This
Guys,
the
was
beer card
Let's
highlighter
refresh
is
it
very
in the screen.
underrated.
you need to sell this. You need to sell this to people.
No, I think I'll give you the extension and you can put it on
Wait,
the website
What,
for the
what
rest
was
of the captain's use.
I'm
No,
still
you
not
need
in
to
on the
check.
joke.
Okay.
Jazz, would you
No
like to
joke, it's
explain?
serious. I'm dead serious. No, can you just switch to my stream and then like rewind a bit? I think that's the best way.
To see. Wait, is the stream actually ended up happening in the end?
Yeah. I started it halfway.
Okay, good.
I think I must have been dummy and then I checked. Oh my gosh, I'm not streaming again.
Not again.
Again.
All
I
right.
was yapping so much. I was trying to hype up my extension.
All right. So
Yeah, well, a crazy last set of hands. So let's just recap the action here. So NYC.Bridge needed to rally to force this tiebreaker to begin with, picking up 13 the last two boards, and then they continue that momentum for 11 and 12, picking up what they needed to keep themselves out of a second tiebreaker and win outright. So very exciting end. Again, because this whole thing is fixed, we know why this match was chosen first as the starter. I did well to set that up for the morning action to set up what should be an exciting day of bridge, which actually continues very soon, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, we are going to be jumping over to another live stream in a moment, because that is where the match for Rasen Koopa and Jakery is going to be held. They've started playing at this moment, but the view graph is not yet up. So I think we absolutely need to talk about something, which is this was a really, really good match. Congratulations to Team NYC.Bridge for moving on to the semi-finals of the championship in Bridge Brawl. Also, congratulations. If you can go to the competition info.
Yes, I was sharing tab. I wasn't sharing screen. I was actually on that. I was trying to figure out why it wasn't showing, but it should be showing on YouTube very shortly.
Yeah. Oh wait. Everybody knows now, so I can hit the button. I can hit the button now.
All right. So NYC.Bridge will advance to the semis, where they will face the winner of Pete Hollins, who won bracket 1, and the team that wins the Claw match tonight between Argos, who will win, and Bridge Overlord 201, who will not.
What?
Well, I mean, I'm getting all the negative energy out by saying we won.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah.
I got it.
All right, so we'll take a look at that. The other thing worth pointing out here, because now we're in the prize stage, and we'll go over to the info, and we'll see
The prizes.
Yes.
I know,
So
I don't get any
with
prizes.
that victory, NYC.Bridge has guaranteed themselves at least 4th place.
So $255 guaranteed for NYC.Bridge, and $64 will be given to Team Jazz for their participation.
Sure.
So that is, well, that's how it works. You can buy anything new for your setup here. Do you want a
what can I buy?
webcam? Do you want a headset? What do you want, Jazz?
You can use that to open source your beer card highlighter.
Right, and then you can make $1 million off of your beer card highlighter. So
Yeah, plus or minus about like
No,
5
no,
euros, but yeah.
I'll send it to you on. I'll send it to you. Let me send it.
now, this is going to be everybody's secret weapon now.
Yeah, I just
It's
wanted
going to
to
be wreaking
debut.
havoc. This is so creative.
Give me a sec. I'm gonna send you on what? It's I'm not sure that it works on Chrome, because I use Chrome, so I use Edge to stream. It's lagging. And my computer's doomed.
But I feel like the most important thing is this guarantees us 2 more bridge brawls.
Yes, you have 2 more matches after this because you're going to
Yes,
play in the
because they will
semifinal.
play a first place match, even if they do not win, when they face us, of course.
So you get to
This is the only match of the people who get to the championship bracket that you don't get another game for sure. Like the clients, you get to play again.
Yes,
Right.
you do see another day in the clans,
Yeah.
as we have discussed, because even the losers will drop into the quarterfinals of the challengers bracket.
Right. So there is a disadvantage to coming 2nd or 3rd, which was
entirely our strategy
Oh,
when we
first
kept playing
as well.
terribly.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point is that you've decided in the round robin that you're too good to be in the challenger bracket. So we can't have you drop down. Not fair. That's what the format says. So you have one less match to play, but you have a shot of just getting knocked out immediately, unfortunately. So Jazz, it's been fun. Thank you for coming
yeah,
in.
it's so much fun.
Yes, Jazz's
Yeah,
team
thanks
was
for
very, very
organizing
strong.
this. Like genuinely, it's so
Um,
fun. I'll commentate when I can.
Okay.
I think I'm the only one in my time zone though.
Yes, in your
We'll
specific
see.
time zone, yes, you are the only one.
They were so good, this team. I spent the whole week talking about how did we have to draw JazPlaysBridge? They're so good.
Yeah.
No, Sheldon was asking me like who he's playing against, and then I just told him, and then I was like, oh, okay, and then he asked what seat I was sitting. I was like, then I just told him, oh, I'm sitting south because I always sit south, and then today I got panicky. I was like, wait, he cares too much. That's scary. but I used a random number generator to get my seat, so it was random.
I thought about trying to do something strategic, and then I just put myself north.
But
'cause
what
we've been north
is
every
the
time.
strategy? I have no strategy except that I think Sheldon has a strategy. So like no.
He didn't share it with me, so it didn't go into the seating. Maybe more coordination would have helped us, but there wasn't that much of it.
Maybe he was doing research.
Maybe.
Well then it worked, right? Because I would have been his opponent. Wait, my computer's just. I'll send it to you later.
Okay.
Can I end my broadcast yet?
Yeah, like this is the thing is that unfortunately you don't hit the start button and then you fail to hit the end button too. It's okay. Streaming is hard.
Because the last time I just discarded the whole postmortem because
Right.
I was discussing with partner, so I think it's good to have it in there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah,
always
I'm
good
still live.
to
think
show
the
what a
other
good
thing-
postmortem looks like. What's up, Maya?
Maybe you guys already talked about this on stream, but it's important to note that today is Sheldon's birthday.
Oh yes, it is Sheldon's
Yeah,
birthday.
I did see that in Discord. That is a good birthday
I
gift.
mentioned it in my 1 second stream, and I said, "Wish him happy birthday, but not luck." Until like 2 hours later. But then I think I was talking to nothing because I wasn't streaming.
I was talking to nothing because I was streaming and no one was there.
Yes,
I
and
had it up in another tab just to see if that board 6 would actually ever end.
yeah, board
had
6
some
was a
slow
while.
Boss six.
That was
Uh,
one of the
Was
that
it
was a
the 3-0
3-0 hand.
ham?
Yeah.
Wait, there's so many difficult 3-0s.
Yeah, they were very fun to
just
watch
Yeah,
all
they
these
were.
3-0s.
There were some with some very tough splits that were cruel and unusual.
Cruel and unusual punishment
had-
for sure.
A few moments of saying, maybe I should be thinking this hard about this.
All right. Well,
the ace queen fifth of clubs opposite too small was a very tricky one. That was
Yeah.
Which one?
The ace
Ace queen-
we had ace queen fifth of clubs opposite too small, and you ducked the club out of your hand.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, which looked right to me. That looked like the right.
It was
approach.
very reasonable.
I
Yeah.
had no idea what to do,
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
to be honest.
the defense got off to
Oh.
the right leads and they were playing super, super well on that one. So it was very, very difficult you could basically do nothing and just hope that your opponents were in the same spot.
I was still hoping even if clubs didn't break, then I was gonna end play Maya in like hearts and diamonds. I was like, yeah,
Right.
and then no.
Right.
No.
I lost the finesse.
Okay, so we have to end stream soon, but before we go, we have to, and we will be transferring over to the other stream where we will be watching Rasser and Koopa versus Jakery, but we need to do some last second shout outs to our commentators. We've got Philip Martin, who is behind Gargoyle Chronicles. Go check him out. Matthew Weingarten, who is behind Bridge Overlord. He's going to be playing later today. And then, of course, our two competitors from this morning. We have JazPlaysBridge. Go check her out on literally like everything. You've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, you've got YouTube. Makes so much good analysis videos. So absolutely go check out JazPlaysBridge. And then, of course, we also have the amazing Maya Jonah Silver, who is behind NYC.Bridge, who started out on Instagram and Facebook and is now also doing some live streaming stuff. So yes, definitely go follow her. Links are in the description. So absolutely outstanding work. Good work, guys. Thank you so much for coming and competing in Bridge Ball.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good game, Jazz.
All right, yeah,
I
great
need
match.
to check
That was
whether I
fun
can
to watch.
end my
Everybody
stream.
stay tuned for lots of bridge today.
Yeah. All right. we'll end the stream,
Okay.
and we're going to be transferring over to the Rastern versus Jake rematch in a moment. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.